and welcome to my channel. Vice Rhino here, Suris on the other side, and we've made ourselves a forest sandwich.
Rhino forced me so far away from him, and now I feel lonely. I don't know what to do about this. I'm just here and accepting that this happened, though, so it's fine. I'll tell myself that. It helps me sleep.
All right, so we are here with Forrest Valkai. If somehow you are unfamiliar with Forrest, he is a biologist, science communicator, fellow responder to Genesis Apologetics. He's a better YouTuber than I. And he is a man who is so distractingly handsome that he's actually not legally allowed near roads anymore because of all the accidents he causes.
There are
that's a true
bodies.
fact. That is a true fact.
There are several bodies that have piled up on the side of the road.
Hello, Forrest. How are you this evening?
I'm awesome. I can't stop staring at this one curl that I've got poking straight up right here. And it's just driving me insane. But other than that, I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing pretty well.
Good.
I really appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, I appreciate you joining us. So we're going to try and keep it informal tonight. Just got some questions. If you have any questions you'd like to ask for us, send a super chat so I actually see it. I'm actually going to start off. The first question, they cheated and didn't do a super chat. They just did a really good question that I noticed. So we're going to start with this one. Kimiko6 says,
Hello.
if you could steal one of any animal's adaptations and have it for yourself as a superpower, what would you choose?
Oh, flip, dude. The ability to regenerate damn near anything that axolotls have going on. Axolotls are insanely cool. Probably the coolest animal. And you can literally slice out and remove a chunk of their spinal cord and they will regenerate it and be just fine. Like nothing ever happened. It's insane. And they are currently the subject of a lot of research for that reason, trying to help burn patients, amputees, all sorts of people that could benefit from that kind of regenerative therapy.
Yeah, that's better than mine. I was going to say sharks with their teeth because of the regeneration. But you just did the whole body.
The fact that we get 2 sets to last our whole lives, it's horseshit. It's absolutely ridiculous. We should be turning those things over.
I think my answer is super simple. Any animal that doesn't shorten its telomeres. That'd be my mind.
Sorry, the immortal
rats up in here.
The immortal jellyfish. You can just go back to being a teenager.
Yep.
Physically a teenager. Got to keep the brain though.
Yeah,
jellyfish, naked mole rats, and lobsters are 3 great examples. You literally they go forever.
There's also some leeches that do it too, I think, right?
Yeah.
Like I'll take any of those so that my DNA isn't just like slowly unraveling over time. I'll take those. Those ones make me happy.
Yeah. Well, that actually made me think. I remember hearing a while ago, and there was a news item where they were saying that the first person who will ever live to reach the age of 200 has probably already been born.
Probably.
And to me, that's like, okay, sounds good, but what state are you in when you get, like, do I stay 35 until I'm 200? Because that'd be pretty okay. Or am I going to be what a 100-year-old is now for another century? Maybe not.
You end up doing the whole the whole Stephen King thing where the person gets old enough to basically turn into a cricket because their body just shrinks and shrivels and shrivels.
I hadn't seen that one. So Rosina for $10 says new BL fantasy unlocked. I don't know what a BL fantasy is, but I assume that that's a good thing.
I don't know what it is either, and I assume it's a bad thing.
Oh,
but maybe we just have 2 different predispositions when it comes to the weirdness of our audiences.
Should we warn Forrest about the fan art thing?
Hey, Forrest, porn's gonna get drawn of you. Sorry.
It's nothing new. That's fine.
I can't stop it. It happens to me all the time, and now I learned to live with it.
I'm a professional content creator. I live on the internet. That's just what life is. That's fine. It's not a big deal.
Coasting on Rule 34.
Really horrifying.
Exactly. Yeah. Guys, you guys are supposed to be asking Forrest some questions here. You're supposed to be doing my job for me. Come on. Where do you store bad jokes online? In a dad base. I do like that one.
When a joke becomes a dad joke.
When the punchline becomes apparent.
Exactly. Yep.
I
love that.
There's lots of violence that I want to commit, and all of it's against myself right now. I do have to ask a question, Forrest. Why? So with your field being in biology, with that being what you're always doing all the time, what made you decide to do content creation as well as that?
Oh yeah. So like the main goal was to be a science communicator. And then I just kept falling more in love with actually going out and learning the science myself as well, rather than just, regurgitating what somebody else had said, or like here, like, okay, well, there's this guy and he said some stuff, and so here's this cool thing that we learned. I wanted to go actually learn it. And so yeah, I was an informal science educator for like a decade. Schools, summer camps, colleges, libraries, you name it, would hire me to come out and do either a class or a workshop or an assembly or a stage show or something to get people of any age excited about science, or to teach some sort of specific lesson. And that's a thing that happens a lot here in Oklahoma, because our education funding is terrible here in Oklahoma. We can't teach sex ed and driver's ed on the same day because it wears out the horse. Like, it's a bad place. And so they hire people to come in to teach this stuff. And so I did that for a long time. And at a certain point, I knew that I was better at it than the companies that were hiring me. And I knew that I had a unique way of teaching that was going to actually resonate with people. And I was sick of getting in trouble for teaching things like evolution.
Things that are just objectively true, and you can literally demonstrate in the classroom. You're like, here's how we know that this happened. What about the missing link? That's a non sequitur, but let's talk about that, like that whole thing.
Yeah. But I live in Oklahoma, and people get pissed. So like at a certain point, I set off on my own to do it on my own way, and just started integrating the science that I was learning in college into my content. And the more I learn, the more I can teach. That's kind of the general idea.
So are there actual students in the school system that behave the way John and Jane act?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Quite a few. And it's never their fault. And I always I have a video on my channel about like creationism in the science classroom, and it's responding to this like clip from a documentary about this guy. I think he's teaching in Tennessee, and he's like, how am I supposed to tell these kids that their ideas are all trash and they're just stupid hillbillies believing in all that Jesus stuff? And it's like,
by not saying it that way.
Do you really think that that's the only way to teach about evolution, honestly? And like, that's the thing, man. I've had kids come up to me in public school settings, and they'll use, like, one kid described evolution as a farce, and I'm like, okay, that's not your word. You didn't come up with that word. Nobody
took it from like Kent Hovind or something.
It came from a guy named Kevin Canahan, I think his name. I've got a video about him as well. I've got a video called "Is Evolution a Fact or a Farce?" And it's this guy. He goes by like the Bible Answer Man or whatever, and he coined that term and published a book saying the farce of evolution. And farce is like an acronym for all the problems of evolution and stuff, and it's all horseshit. And so like that's something that his parents and or grandparents heard, that then they passed on to him, and he probably has a DVD or a book prominently displayed in his house about the farce of evolution. And so when he, as a high schooler, as a 16-year-old kid in the middle of nowhere, Oklahoma, comes up to me and says, well, I think evolution's a farce, that tells me everything I need to know about what you know exactly
where it's coming from, because you've heard it before, you've seen it before.
Exactly. So I don't like blame that kid at all. And I also, you can look at the textbooks. I've got a high school biology textbook over here. I can go grab if you want me to. And it's one of the ones that was prominent in my school, because in Oklahoma we still use textbooks that don't even mention 9/11 yet.
Is that because 9/11's an inside job, or because they haven't updated yet?
It's yet another theory that the radical left is pushing.
It's super weird. It's super weird hearing that, because I grew up in Pensacola Christian Academy, so the ABCA curriculum, and the amount of money that ABCA has. I remember very shortly after 9/11, they gave us new printings of our history books that had a memorial to 9/11 in the front cover. Very shortly after it happened. And as a kid, that just made sense to me, because that was the environment I grew up in. As an adult, I'm like, who the fuck has that kind of money? How did they afford that? Well, I know now how they afforded it, because they sell private schools curriculum shit.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
the public school textbooks, they talk about the theory, germ theory, cell theory, abiogenesis theory, plate tectonic theory, all sorts of things. It's only on evolution where they start throwing the word theory around and call it the theory of evolution. And scientists believe this and that.
I mean, it's a theory, because it is so well supported. Limited Light wants to know if you can explain why JD Vance is so beard. I'm not sure what.
I feel like that's a reference to something that I'm not getting.
I feel
the same way.
My audience is being strange today.
It is bizarre watching that man like do literally anything.
Okay,
it's
good.
really weird. I drank a Diet Dr. Pepper yesterday.
Bet you I'm gonna get canceled for that.
We're here for all the people who are canvassing today. If you look at this table, look at the things we've got. We've got Milky Way bars. We've got Diet Mountain Dew. Like specifically naming them like this is what the young kids like these days: Milky Way and Diet Mountain Dew.
That got my vote. It's on. If JD Vance walks into a bar, what kind of beer do you want? Which one's worked here the longest? Oh, I want the watch. Good job.
Yeah, no. If he asks that though, the very first follow up, he gets his beer, and goes, okay, good.
I want the beer.
Okay,
I want the beer.
Good.
I want whatever beer
Good.
just makes the most sense.
Yeah, whatever one humans drink.
Ramdabut says, if atheists come from Christians, why are there still Christians? Checkmate atheists.
Checkmate atheists.
Man.
Yeah. So now, I had the great pleasure of seeing your talk at BajaCon. Forrest has this way of like presenting things in a way like the talk was like it was just about cool science stuff. Oh, and by the way, learning this cool science stuff makes you a better person.
Yeah.
And there was like you were the only person who brought your own inspirational music.
I wanted to up it, man.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
It's sitting there in a room listening to person after person talk. I wanted to change it up because who wants to listen to just another dude get up there and speak about stuff? You know what I mean? Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know if I don't know if you recorded that or if that's going up on YouTube at some point, but he quoted the Pale Blue Dot poem, and I don't know how many times you must have watched Carl or listened to Carl Sagan deliver that, because like you nailed the inflections. It was amazing. Best part of the conference.
Well, thank you.
Hello.
Well, thank you. That really means a lot. Yeah, that's something that like it really harkens back to why I started my career, is that I wanted to use science lessons to teach life lessons. You know, the first part of that discussion talking about how like if you understand evolution, you cannot be racist. It precludes racist thinking. You
figure out that racism is a spook very quickly. You're like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
We started making up these races about ourselves far before we could do things like DNA sequencing and could figure out what the fuck a race was. Like we made this shit up beforehand, so everything else is in post hoc.
And then like I know, but that kind of thing. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's okay. I was just going to make a really bad joke about Kamala Harris being black one day and Indian the next.
Yeah, because apparently Donald Trump doesn't think that someone can be biracial. Brilliant.
Yep.
Flip, dude. Isn't like was it? I don't remember who the guy was. Isn't JD Vance the one he's married to an Indian woman as well?
Yes, he is.
Yeah. And and he put out a statement saying like, my wife isn't white, but I forgive her, you know, but I love her anyway, or something like that.
Yeah, that wasn't exactly, but that was definitely the tone of it.
Yeah. I don't remember what the wording was. I just remember being so taken aback that someone was, yes, I know she isn't white, but I love her. And it's like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole thing, that was like, one of the reasons I started getting into this kind of stuff, because I was teaching lessons like that and seeing how much it affected people, and seeing how few people were talking about science in that way. It was just this very sterile thing up on a high shelf that you had to like earn your right to be able to touch, and that just isn't what science should be. Science is political, it is progressive, it is social, it is all around you all the time for everybody, and treating it in any other way is weird.
I remember a lot of people in the like old skeptic community getting really upset that Bill Nye said science is political. And yet when you look at you probably have more experience in this than I do. Mine is very like outside looking in, but the idea that, hey, there's this thing that I think we need to be investing in studying, and suddenly you're having to deal with lobbying to try to get the funding for the thing you want to study. And if you're in a very like heavy creationist area, maybe certain things that are adjacent to evolution somehow are really hard to get the funding for studying, because they're like, no, we don't want to teach that. That's bad. That's the devil's science. And yet they'll equally get upset when you point out that, yeah, it's still political, though, because we're having to actually fight to get funding for different studies, or even to like keep teaching certain things in school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So a word worker's wisdom says, what creationist would Forrest most enjoy debating?
Ooh. So I'm going to preface this by saying that I don't really do formal debates. I don't think that they're super useful in like today's internet culture. It's just a popularity contest, and the winner of the debate. Yeah, the winner of the debate is the person who posted on their channel, and not all their supporters say they won the debate.
Yeah.
And so I'm just not super into it. But in terms of like who I would have a fun time, I think, talking to, it's tough to say. I look at people like there's the Kent Hovens and Ken Hams and Ray
the
Comforts of the world
creationist
who,
people,
like, yeah. Well, the question was, what creationists would you enjoy debating? And like those ones would be a lot of fun for a very different reason than debating somebody like Stephen Meyer would be a lot of fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like on that side, like it is just making fun of somebody. It is just pointing out like that's what you have just described. You have been told is wrong enough that you are clearly just being deliberately dishonest, and that's very funny. And now I'm going to make like that.
You're just going to dance around them because it's way more fun to do that than it is to try to pretend they're an honest interlocutor.
What category what category of that would you put Gramps into?
Oh, flip. You know, the crazy thing with Donald James Parker is that I really do think he is sincere.
Yeah.
I think he really does care about what he believes, and I think that he really is trying his best to save people's souls. And I think that what he thinks, the straw man that he believes about evolution, I really do think that he thinks that's what we think. And that's why I loved having that conversation with him, because like I guess that is the type of creationist I would most enjoy debating is another person like that, who just genuinely doesn't understand what evolution is and is sincere about that, because that way we can actually have a conversation about that. Like the thing with Gramps, like the very beginning of the conversation, I allowed him to introduce himself, and he was like, yeah, I've written a book about evolution. I've made movies about evolution. And then my first question was, can you describe some of the different like mechanisms of evolution that you know about? Do you only know mutation selection, or do you have other like concepts in your head? And I was like, what about epigenetics? He's like, I've never heard that word. And I'm like, okay, if you had no idea, and epigenetics is just one other dimension of evolution. And so like, if you don't have any concept of like foundational, fundamental, big parts of evolution, no idea what development is or how development works or how it plays into evolution, no idea what a Hux gene is, no idea what any of these things are, all you know is random changes became an eyeball. And it's like, I understand entirely why you don't believe in this. We should talk about it. And that I think I would most enjoy doing that, because the question was most enjoy. So like that's the kind of creationist, that's the kind of person that I would most enjoy having a debate with, because that I think would be actually the most productive for the audience listening. It wouldn't just be trying to shit on somebody, trying to break somebody down. Like if I got up and debated Ben Shapiro or Jordan Peterson, no one's going to give half a shit. Like I said, it's going to be a popularity contest. They're going to say a bunch of dumb shit. I'm going to say a bunch of correct shit. They're going to speak with pseudo-academic language way too fast for anybody to keep up with. And everybody who isn't a freshman in high school or in college is going to be bored out of their mind. And the freshmen in college are going to be like, these people are both using big words. I don't know who to believe. And that's going to be the whole conversation. But if it's somebody like Gramps that's just, genuinely wrong, but still genuine, that'd be really cool. So I'd have a lot of fun.
I have a slight disagreement here, because like with Gramps specifically, so like, and this became clear in your conversation with him, is that he's wrong, but he's genuinely believing what he believes, but he's also just like not even interested in learning why he's wrong.
Oh yeah.
Because there's a whole lot of like, I don't know, and I don't care that I don't know. Let me be clear. It's not a productive conversation for him, but it is a productive conversation for the people watching. I think, you know what I mean? Yeah. Rosina also says, Forrest, have you had a chance to look into electron quantum tunneling's effect on point mutations in DNA? And then saying quantum tunneling is a function of distance, not energy.
Yeah. So I am not a physicist. I do know that quantum tunneling can. I'm so not a physicist. It's difficult for me to even explain what's happening here. But certain quantum effects can fuck up your DNA in such a way that causes a point mutation, and so like that's something I can talk about. So you have your the letters, so to speak, of your DNA, the code are adenine, guanine, cytosine, and thymine, and the sequence in which those 4 nitrogenous bases occur is the language of your DNA. And if you change one of those bases, if you change one of those letters, either nothing happens, or something happens, or something very big happens, and like that's kind of those differences.
It's all going over my head.
Well, so there's a difference. So like if you so DNA is read in sequences of 3 letters. Each 3-letter sequence is called a codon, exactly. And so, but the thing is, each codon codes for an amino acid, and those amino acids are what build proteins. But there's different codons that can code for the same amino acid, the same way that we have synonyms in this language. If I'm talking about, I'm trying to come up with a synonym now, and suddenly I can't come up with a single one. A house or a home, they both mean a building that somebody lives in, right? And so there's just different words for it. And so if I'm building or coding for the amino acid serine, say for example, there's a couple of different ways to spell that amino acid, a couple of different codons that will code for it. And so if you make a point mutation, if you change one single letter of your DNA, it could be a silent mutation, which means it doesn't change anything. It's still the same codon being formed. It could be a missense mutation, which means it changes that one amino acid, and now you have a slightly different protein. Or it could be what's called a nonsense mutation, which means it codes for stop. It stops building a protein. And now everything else that was going to be a part of that gene is no longer a part of that gene. Yeah, the rest of that protein is destroyed. And so you now have half a protein or part of a protein. And that can have huge ramifications. And sometimes changing a protein a little bit with 1 amino acid or 2 amino acids, even that doesn't really change too much. Sometimes you can have one silent mutation that doesn't do anything because it's coded for the same amino acid, but then a second point mutation comes along and makes a totally different kind of mutation because it compounds with that first one, and having the 2 changes is way different than having just one or the other of them. And that's just one kind of thing. It's just called a point mutation. There's lots of other kind of mutations, but when you just change one letter of the DNA, that's called a point mutation. That's how it works. And what this person is talking about is that you can have some sort of quantum effect where it fucks up the shape of the molecule in such a way that it causes that one point of your DNA to have to be changed out, to be rescued. And that can have some serious ramifications. So that is a thing that I know can occur. I don't know how it occurs because I am not a physicist, and that is not my jam.
Yeah, and even if you are a physicist, as quantum physicists will freely admit, if you think you understand quantum physics, you don't.
Yeah.
Clueless expert, this actually ties into Clueless expert's question. You mentioned Hox genes earlier. Can you explain what those are? I know a little bit about them, so I know that it's definitely related here.
Yeah, so there's 3 major groups of genes out there. There's cell-specific ones, and there's developmental ones, and there's the other ones. Like the main thing is these are developmental genes. And amongst the developmental genes, you have this group called homeobox genes, which are important for like body plan, like what your body's going to look like. And there's a subset of those called Hox genes that, when you develop, say, for example, like a limb bud starts growing, the Hox genes are what's going to tell you, like, okay, this is going to be an arm versus a leg versus an antenna versus whatever else. You know what I mean? So it's you can oversimplify it and just say Hox genes are the genes that basically instruct what your body's going to look like. That's a very big oversimplification. It's a lot more complicated than that. But long story short, is they're just the genes that kind of tell you what shape your limbs and body are going, they tell you what shape the different parts of your body are going to take on, is what Hox genes do, more or less.
Okay. And so what I was going to go to with the Hox genes is like the thing that I mostly know them as is the reason why snakes are long, because one single, like, I forget whether it's a point mutation or whether it's like a whole segment that gets duplicated.
Yeah.
But like there's one tiny change that basically will tell, like, when the embryo is building the vertebrae, it'll just be like, yeah, do that same whole thing but once more. And so that's how snakes get longer.
So snakes are a long torso. Snakes have a relatively very short tail. The actual body of the snake is all torso. And yeah, what's going on there is it's you're creating these things called somites. A somite is when you're early in development, it's a cluster of cells that are going to become the axial skeleton and surrounding tissues, what we call the epaxial muscles. Nope, I had it right the first time. Yep. Epaxial. Yep.
None of us will be able to call you out on that.
It's fine. Yeah, the epaxial muscles are the ones that are like right along your spine. Hypaxial are like the rest of your body. And your axial skeleton is your skull and spine. And then your what we call your appendicular skeleton is the rest of you. And so so basically what you're doing is you have this like kind of this balance between different growth factors, different what we call morphogens that are telling your body what to grow where. And one of them is coming down this way and the other one is coming up this way. And where you have the interaction between those things, you develop a somite that's going to become a vertebra. And those with snakes, that just doesn't turn off the same way, and they keep growing. And then also you've changed the genes that are going to cause what we call organizer cells to arrange themselves to produce the limb buds that will then be influenced by Huck's genes. And so like there's a couple of things going on there, and it's just the loss of one of these things just doesn't stop. And another one of these things stops real early, and you don't get the limb buds to develop the way that they're supposed to. Yeah.
And I also, I forget what they do, but I do recall that there is a gene called Sonic Hedgehog. I think Sonic Hedgehog 1 and 2 or something.
So Sonic Hedgehog is one of a group of genes. There's a whole family of hedgehog genes. And Sonic Hedgehog is the gene that you use when you want something to grow really fucking fast. So like when you have
which makes sense that they called it the Sonic Hedgehog gene because it's the blue hedgehog of going fast.
Yeah. And so you have this one, Sonic Hedgehog produces this protein, SHH protein that attaches to a cell receptor called patched, I believe. And basically you get the limb bud started, and now you want it to be a limb real quick. Sonic Hedgehog is going to come into play. And so Sonic Hedgehog does a lot of stuff in your body in terms of development is concerned. But like it is mainly associated with limbs because it's really fucking funny that Sonic Hedgehog is responsible for leg growth. And so that's kind of what people know.
Yeah. So we got a couple more super chats. SJL says, I'm too old to have watched Bill Nye. Are you aware of Don Herbert, aka Mr. Wizard, 1951 to 65, 71 to 72, and 83 to 90? I am not familiar with Mr. Wizard.
No, I am. Yeah. It's just another show of a cool old guy who did science experiments and just taught people about science. He was real popular. So it's just another one. Him and Bill Nye and all the other greats out there. Jeff Corwin was different. He was an animal guy. He was like Steve Irwin, but weirder. And then Steve Irwin was Steve Irwin. Those were all the people that were major influences on me when I was a kid. That's what I wanted to be when I grew up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I do. They're in my Twitch chat. They're telling me I'm the Bill Nye generation. Absolutely, I remember watching Bill Nye all the time as a kid.
I learned Mr. Wizard later, much later.
I'll have to look him up.
He's pretty cool.
Godless Granny wants to know: was all the information for all DNA there when first life came to be?
No. So genomes, like the basic building blocks of DNA, the 5 nitrogenous bases that make up DNA and RNA, those we have those the whole time. This is adenine, thymine, guanine, cytosine, and uracil are the 5 nitrogenous bases that make up DNA or RNA. DNA uses thymine, RNA uses uracil. Beyond that, the other 3 are the same.
You really can't trust them. They just make up everything.
God damn it.
And
We're back to the dad jokes again.
And well, I got the hat, so I had to do dad joke with the hat.
I love it.
Makes sense.
but yeah, those are what do that. And like the genome has gotten longer and more complicated in different taxa as time's gone on. So like plants have a significantly longer genome than we do. Just as an example, we are diploid. We have 2 copies of our DNA.
Fucking
Wheat
strawberries, man.
Yeah, strawberries are octoploid. Wheat is hexaploid. And so you got 8 or 6 different copies of their DNA. And then also the DNA sequence itself is even longer as well. And so you've got really, really, really simple organisms with relatively really short DNA sequences. They only need a few dozen genes to get by versus, something like us. We have about 3 billion base pairs. So 3 billion letters on each side of the double helix of our DNA. Yeah. So like, and then you go up to like, a blue whale. It says you have all these genes. You look at all these big trees with insane amounts of genes. And we share a lot of that. And so like the cool thing is the difference in actual like genome length varies from species to species and also from kingdom to kingdom a lot. But like the most fundamental parts of it are pretty much the same, and the way that it's used is pretty much the same. So in terms of like, was all the information for DNA there? All the information of DNA wasn't there, but all the information for like how DNA is utilized and like what it can do, that's as old as life itself, as far as I know. Could have been a little different earlier on. There's different ways to do things. Not every species has the same kind of ribosomes. They do stuff a little differently. But like main focus of like,
I hate to disagree with you, Forrest,
but the central dogma is the same.
I have it on good authority that because there were some minerals involved in the abiogenesis process, that we all evolved from rocks.
Yeah. No. So like, there's a couple. So like when we talk about abiogenesis, we talk about the forming of genetic material. Yes. That was one of the big questions. We know that those 5 nitrogen spaces, we find those on meteors and shit all the time. Yep. We find them in space. Like we know those self-assemble. But how then to get to like a polymer of a collection of those things, that was a mystery for a long time. And I think it was either last year or the year before, there was a paper talking about the self-elongation of oligoribonucleotides. And that sounds like a crazy word, but it's not. Oligo just means a few pieces. So the major macromolecules of life are polymers, which means lots of little pieces all together in a chain. Oligo means a handful of pieces, more than 3 but less than 20, just a little cluster of them. And then ribonucleotide is talking about RNA, and RNA is really important because RNA is both it's both genetic material and also a catalyst for a lot of biochemical reactions. And RNA, because of that, RNA can self-assemble and also can self-replicate. And so we find these oligoribonucleotide sequences are able to self-form in the presence of some really common minerals. I'd have to go back and look at the paper to remember which ones, but they're like very mundane shit. And so, yeah, it's like, I know you're joking, but just for the creationist who is going to clip this and take it out of context, it's
even
not
the atheists don't agree with each other. Look at them; they're fighting.
Right?
That's a Matt Powell thing to do.
Yeah, not that we're made of rocks, but rocks are absolutely involved in what we do and what we are. And if that sounds crazy to you, if you're like, oh, minerals involved in life, blah blah blah, salt, motherfucker. Think about it. Like that's what electrolytes are.
That is my go-to. That's my go-to example, and I'm responding to that. If you don't have salt, you die.
How you think? Yes. So like, if you don't understand why electrolytes are important, that you need to look up what these minerals actually are.
It's got what plants crave.
It's Brondo. Yeah, exactly. It's got those.
Welcome to Costco. I love you.
Craziness.
Yeah. Jethro Elfman wants to know, are you a cat person or a dog person? And what is your own pet like?
Oh, neither. Thank you. And I don't have any pets myself. I used to have a couple of pot-bellied pigs, but that was just an accident. And so they have gone off to live at a pot-bellied pig sanctuary after I had them for a couple of years. But I don't own any pets. I like my house to be clean. And I don't enjoy company of cats or dogs. I will hang out with one and I won't be mean to it, but like, I don't really need one around. I am neither a hunter nor a gatherer. And so I don't really need a dog. And as far as cats are concerned, you have to put so much work into raising them and you get so little meat off of them. I don't really understand the point. I just avoid the whole thing.
I've heard recently from a certain very virulent politician that we need to stop worrying about anything going on in America and focus on the people who are eating the dogs and eating the cats. He just won't shut up about it.
Quite frankly, there's too many goddamn feral dogs and cats out there. So like, do it. Go eat the dogs and cats. Have fun with it. A humble proposal, or what is it? A modest proposal.
A modest proposal.
Only it's for stray animals instead of stray children.
Yeah. Jethro's saying, I like my house to be clean, LOL. Yeah, so I kind of giggled when you said that too, because I have 5 children and a dog, so it's never clean.
Yeah. I say the same thing whenever people ask me if I have kids. I'm like, no, I don't have any pets. And like, that's because I'm not doing that either for a lot of the same reasons. I don't plan on reproducing for a lot of the same reasons.
What if you just met the right person? Something quiverful.
I'm married to the right person.
Kids are messy. I actually
always. Where did they even get jam, and why is it always on their face at all times? You know what I mean?
So
it was some
sticky.
I had 3 kids, and that was enough for me. So I got snipped. And then through blended family situations, I now have 5 kids. And her oldest, that is the snot. I have not ever seen so much snot in one place than with this kid. He's allergic to everything. And like, he refuses to use Kleenexes to wipe his nose. He'll do one of those. And it's just like, okay, can you go wash your hands now? Why?
Because you just
look at it.
Snot everywhere.
Look at it. Oh, but I'll just eat it. I was like, no,
what?
No.
No, that's gross.
Tell him I hate him.
I will not be doing that.
Sorry, I'm teasing you.
I know.
I have a problem with like germs in general.
Oh, so do
like,
I.
It's a bad thing, and like it's gotten worse as I've gotten older. I'm starting to develop some neuroses about it, where like I have to wash my hands a certain number of times in a certain way, and like especially if you've seen me at conventions. I'm happy to go talk to people, shake people's hands, and all this stuff. But like I am now consciously aware of my right hand for a long time, and it almost burns because I can feel how gross it is, and I need to go shake my That I get that too. It's exactly the same. Yeah, it's a bad time, and so like it just doesn't work for me. And like I've got 10 nieces and nephews that are all little, running around in their early teens at the latest, except for one of them is just learned to drive. You know, God help us all. But like most of like 8.
Oh,
yep. Nope. 9 of my 10 nieces and nephews are under the age of I think 13, and like. They run over to me and they're like holding the game controller and they're like, Uncle Forrest, can you show me how to play this game? I'm like, that's great, kid. Hey, go ask one of your other little hey, you come teach this come touch this controller they've touched and tell them how to play the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, if they find a frog or a snake or a pile of shit outside, I'll run out there and grab it and pick it up and talk about it and teach it. I don't care.
This controller.
I don't care one bit.
This controller is my controller. The kids are not allowed to touch it. And when they ask me, it's because I'll tell them it's because it's the expensive one and you guys tend to like drop them and throw them and stuff. And it's like, no, it's because I don't want to touch that thing after you've touched it. We have a spray bottle of isopropyl alcohol for situations like that. And I am also weird with that. Like I will not share cutlery or cups with my significant other who I kiss directly on the mouth.
Yep.
Like how does that make sense? It
she's the same way. My wife, she's like just straws or just tubes for spit. She doesn't want to share a straw. That's great. You know what I mean? She's the same way.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I don't know why I felt the need to take a drink after that, but
yeah, slurp on that spit tube. Do it.
10 out of 10.
Rosina,
great. Now I'm just looking through.
Rosina Keller says, when a cat lives with you, you become the emergency food supply. That's the deal we make with the murder babies.
Yes.
That's true.
Yeah. Not a fan. Not a fan. I gotta tell you.
I am a fan of the murder babies. The murder babies are great.
They don't pay rent and they stink up the place and they wash their asshole with their tongue and then walk around your house like they own the place.
Counterpoint.
They do own
I say
the
this
place.
as a person who currently owns a dog but has owned cats. At least cats are self-cleaning. Dogs just get smelly.
Are they?
Yeah.
Dogs do just get really smelly. The fact that we're because of dogs' coats, the fact that we're only supposed to wash them like once every few weeks, but they start smelling 2 days after they've been washed. Like, I want to do it more though.
If for anybody like Vice Rhino who thinks that cats are self-cleaning, just point of interest, an experiment that you can try in your own home. Go take a shit and then bury it with your hands and then lick your fingers clean and tell me if that equates to being self-cleaned or if that's just fucking gross. And then also touch things. You lick your fingers clean and then you touch your countertops, you touch your furniture. Is that clean? Is that what clean means?
And then you find the person that you like the most. You find the person you like the most after you've done all that and you lick them.
Exactly. Exactly.
So
no, thank you.
For reasons that we have already discussed here, I never let my cat lick me.
I fucking punch that thing into the sun. I can't handle that. And again, can't stress this enough. I used to work during my undergrad. I worked at an exotic animal sanctuary. I've been licked and shit on and peed on and vomited on and touched and also by all sorts of snakes, lizards,
You're literally
turtles,
just describing
arachnids,
the first year of my oldest child's life. No, the first week.
I've had lemurs poop on me. And I'm like, who fucking cares? It doesn't bother me. I've had salmonella a couple of times. I can get it again. I'll play with this lizard after it's sick. I don't give a shit. It's fine. But a child, gross. And cats and dogs in your house, gross. Take a shower, get a job, children. All children should do that. And oh man.
I am going to clip that and show that to my children. Just take a shower, get a job.
Take a shower and get a job, babies.
That's what this professional biologist says.
Yes. Take a shower, get a job.
That's We've covered a lot of ground today. Don't have kids or pets and eat cats and dogs. That's the lessons of this stream. That is the official position of Vice Rhino and everybody that he works with is that you should be eating small furry animals and putting your children to work in the mines
of Moria.
Thank you very much for tuning in.
I approve this message.
I am just sitting here watching the stream burn. That's fine.
Yeah, now we know the real reason Suris didn't stream on his channels.
I was just sitting there going, I knew it was going to happen this way.
You invited me onto this show. I'm going to just destroy. I'm going to run this thing into the ground.
Hold on. Let me get this straight. You're upset that cats and dogs will get everything unclean and shit everywhere, and that's a perfectly reasonable position to have. But then you do that to the stream. You just shit everywhere here.
Do as I say, not as I do, bitch.
Forrest is a stream cat. He's a stream cat. You invite him on, he just shits all over the place.
Does that make him a forest cat? Look, there's gonna be somebody on my side of the audience that's gonna turn that into just high art, and then make porn of it.
Yep. I don't want to know what kind of porn's coming out of this discussion. Ew. No.
just we're talking about animals shitting everywhere.
Yeah, so Lil Shrimp says counterpoint toe beans are cute. I've never understood the pictures and videos you have of people that are like actually kissing those. Is like even putting aside the touching their shit with them and then licking them clean. Those are feet. You're walking all over the place with them.
Those are literally feet. They are literally feet. Also, just as a side note, hold on a second. Let me just go ahead and pull up an image here. And I'm going to share my screen. Fuck, sharing is not turned on. Well, never mind.
I can turn sharing on. I just don't know.
Cool.
Advanced sharing options. All participants. Who can start sharing when someone else is sharing? Well, I don't think we'll need that, but sure. We can all share.
Hey. All right, cool. Let me go ahead and just open this up here.
Might botch my cropping job.
And let me see if I can share just this image, and maybe it'll pop up on my thing. What happened?
Is it squished?
No, I just need to rearrange some stuff.
Yeah, just put, I was trying to get it just in my square there in the middle. I've ruined everything.
Yeah, a little bit. No, what's going on there? You know what? I can just take a screenshot of that, and I can put it on the stream in other ways.
Sure.
So you can stop screen sharing.
Okay. Now I'll stop screen sharing somehow. I don't know how I do that. I fucked it up. Hold on, wait there. Okay, we're good.
There we go.
Hey,
we're back.
Yeah, share that.
Okay.
Put up that picture that I just shared.
I am working on it. It takes me a second.
You son of a bitch.
I'm a professional.
But I know what it's like when you're trying to do tech support for yourself, and half your stream does too.
Mm-hmm.
There we are.
Professionalism is just a series of mistakes we try to hide.
There it is. Look at that. So counterpoint to the counterpoint, that is a species called Giardia Lamba. Look at how cute it is. It looks like a little stingray, little eyeballs and a bunch of little feathers and whiskers hanging off it. I think they're genuinely adorable. They're really sweet things. They're a parasite, and their whole life cycle is to give you diarrhea. And then you poop out what are called cysts. They insist, not like insist like they're telling you to do something. They insist, meaning they become.
They insist you shit.
Yes, they enter the cyst phase of their life where they become a hard little thing that can be dehydrated and survive, and you shit out those things, and then you get that poop, that infected poop, into your mouth from somewhere, and then you start pooping more. Then these little guys, they have a little suction cup on their face, and they just suction to the insides of your intestine and cause you to poop a whole bunch. I think they're adorable. They're also horrific, and they will cause giardiasis or whatever the fuck it's called, which is just a terrible diarrhea.
So
cute doesn't mean good, and cute doesn't mean you should have it in your fucking house.
So they are adorable.
What's wrong with you?
They're adorable parasites that
I know
have a lot of shit related to them. They're children.
Exactly.
They're human children.
Exactly. And quite frankly, I'd rather hang out with the Giardia, but that's just me.
Yeah, no, I'm actually surprised that I had 2 more kids after I had my oldest, because, like, you know what Meconium is, right?
Yeah.
You familiar? So for those in the audience who aren't familiar with it, it's basically a baby butt plug that keeps their poop inside their body while they're in the womb. And it's like this black tar substance that has to, like, so it's like the first couple diapers that you have from baby, it's black tar that sticks to everything. It's impossible to clean. It's a nightmare. My oldest child, her first 18 diapers were Meconium. I don't know how that is even physically possible. I was so mad at the prenatal classes that were like, oh, it'll just be 1 or 2 diapers.
Yeah, the fact that you even remember the precise number tells me the trauma that implemented onto you.
It's been stuck in your brain.
She was the shittiest baby. Yeah. She was the shittiest baby in the most literal sense. Like when we got home from the hospital, the first 2 days we were home, we went through 2 entire packs of diapers. Because she would do this thing where, like, she would poop, you open the diaper out, clean her up, whatever, put the new diaper on. As soon as the new diaper's there, she'd poop more.
Yep.
And she would go
just
through, like,
insulting.
And it would be like, there'd be like 4 diapers per change. It was, and then I had more kids and realized that was not normal.
It's an illness. The desire to have children. It is an illness that people suffer from. Needs to be treated.
Oh my goodness.
Horrific. Truly horrific. What a stream.
It's the antinatalist stream.
The antinatalist stream, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I'm the only one here that has kids. So
it's true. I only have fur babies.
Yeah. Well, I got so the dog is actually locked in the office with me because this is the one room in the house that she won't pee in.
Oh.
And
is that why she's named Puddles?
That's not why she's named Puddles, but that's why everybody thinks she's named Puddles, and it does fit.
It's why I'm locked in my office. This is the only room I will pee in.
Oh.
You don't have to worry about it at all. You just have. We can't even see if you're wearing pants.
I forgot to mention, Forrest. You're still doing the fundraiser for Doctors Without Borders, right?
Yeah, no, I appreciate you bringing it up. Yeah, so last night was actually the last episode of the series, and now next Wednesday we're going to be doing a live cast Q&A. Basically, so for everybody who doesn't know, there's a game called Tales of the Valiant, which was made by a company called Kobold Press. If you're familiar with D&D, you'll be familiar with this game. It's pretty much the same type of game. It's just some of the rules are a little different. Personally, I think it's a little bit more fun. Some of the mechanics are pretty cool. It was made in response to D&D being owned by Wizards of the Coast, being owned by Hasbro, and being really shitty to a bunch of people, and like monetizing the hell out of everything to where you had to pay to even own your own ability to do anything ever, and it just sucks. And so Kobold Press made this game, Tales of the Valiant, which is fucking awesomely fun. I could talk about them for a long time, but they sponsored us to do this fundraiser for Doctors Without Borders, and so we played an amazing game of Tales of the Valiant over the course of a week. We played for about 35 hours, just like dawn till dusk every day for like 5 solid days, and we cut out a lot that was just us fucking around trying to do things right, because it's a brand new game. We were literally the first ever actual play of the game, because we were coordinated with the release of the game. The game was launched with our stream of it. They sent us all their players handbooks and everything pre-release. We had to sign a lot of NDAs, and so we were the first people to ever actually play this game, and the first publication of a long play of the game. And we did it all to raise money for Doctors Without Borders, who's an amazing organization. If you don't know who they are the most, probably the most unimpeachably awesome charitable organization on the planet. They are actual real doctors who travel to the most dangerous parts of the world in order to provide life-saving medical care to absolutely anybody who needs it, regardless of race, religion, politics, ethnicity, anything. And so these are the guys who go into the war zone, who go into the outbreak, who go into the earthquake, who go into the hurricane, who go into the most dangerous crisis zone in the world. And no matter who it is, if they're a human being and they need help, they save their fucking life. And
that's
they
just fucking badass.
They have died because of it, and they have been killed because of it, because they go out when there's a genocide. They're the ones on the ground helping, and the people fucking shoot at them to try to prevent them from saving the lives of people they want to take, and it sucks. And so they are the people, they are the real live actual fucking heroes who are on the ground right now saving lives in Gaza, in Ukraine, in Congo, in Sudan, in Yemen, in Chad, and in other crisis zones all around the world. And so we have raised, over the course of this game, there are 14 episodes of the game. As of I think this morning I checked, we have raised $24,250 something, which averages out to a little over a $1,700 per episode that we've raised. And because that series is not getting a lot of views. I've got a science channel, and people are like, why the fuck am I watching an RPG game? This is not what I subscribe for. But the people who like it really fucking like it, and we have a great fan base. We've got a fan Discord that somebody started. We've gotten a bunch of really good fan art from it, and we've raised $24,000 to save lives all around the world. So if you like TTRPG gaming, or if you just like humans, I would encourage you to please head over to my channel and check out the Roll for Initiative series. Every single episode of the show is a fundraiser. There's a fundraiser attached in the description of every single video as well. There's a Tiltify link. If you can't donate through YouTube, because a lot of people can't, you can donate through Tiltify, or you can buy some merch. If you buy any Roll for Initiative merch, we have t-shirts, hoodies, tank tops, everything. All of the proceeds of the merch also goes directly to Doctors Without Borders. So you can do any of those things that you want. Personally, I don't watch TTRPG content. I just like playing it. So I feel the need to put the disclaimer out there that, like, because it is a long play, the first couple episodes are a little slow, but then it gets a lot more fun. Everybody I tell that to is like, yeah, that's how those work all the time. That's how it always is. So everybody just
you're just like, I'm just trying to get people
put the
to
link
like
in
the
the chat. The link should be in the description. It should already be in the description for YouTube.
That's the link to the Tiltify there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, if you do the Tiltify, Shard Tabletop, which is a virtual tabletop system that you can run your campaigns no matter what your system is. They do D&D and they do other stuff as well. They offer like a free like subscription at a certain level, depending on how much you donate. You can get custom like virtual dice that are styled after the characters that are in the game. So like my character is Dr. Victor Vindica. You can get red and black dice that look like his magic smoke and shit like that, and like just so all sorts of cool stuff. And you get like a custom dice tray that looks like this really cool blue embroidered with our logo, the Roll for Initiative logo. So yeah, check all that out. And please donate to help us save lives all around the world. And if you like TTRPG stuff, watch the series, because genuinely I really am very proud of it. Not only because it is the biggest fucking thing I've ever done, but also I really do think every single episode is better than the last. And it just keeps getting more interesting and more enthralling and more detailed. It's emotional and it's gritty. It's not that shit where it's like, yes, you were all strangers who met in a tavern and instantly became best friends and saved the world. There's conflict in between the characters a lot, and it's great to see. And there's a lot of questions, like big ethical questions that are asked during the game. So just check it out, have fun with it. And if you do, even if you don't want to donate to Doctors Without Borders, just make sure to use my link to do it so I can track the donation, and that way I can use those donations to get more sponsors to do more cool charity projects in the future, please.
Yeah, Doctors Without, I've been donating to Doctors Without Borders for years now, since before I did my first fundraising thing on my channel, which I think I started that in like 2019 or something. They're a great charity. So yeah, I also highly recommend them.
They're insanely cool. I will never be that fucking cool. I'm actually studying right now at a medical school with no intention of becoming a doctor, and we have like a branch that's like does international shit like that, and those guys, I am not cool enough to be in the same fucking building with those guys. It's just insane. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So now I got more super chats to catch up on. Jethro Elfman asks, have you done any running events, and what's your marathon PR?
Running events? You mean like actually like physically?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I don't. Is this a Run Forest Run joke? I don't. Yeah.
Oh,
that's either a Run Forest Run joke, or it's
Maybe.
like,
right?
or it's like, here's my fixation, let me put it on to you. Yeah, because I've seen that happen a lot too with our communities.
I have not. I've never done any of those things. I've done no physical charity things, but it might, maybe someday. I don't know. If it would bring in donations, I'm down to do it.
This was a super chat that came in before I brought up the Doctors Without Borders. So I don't think that was asking about a charity event potentially, but
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've never run a marathon or anything like that.
I will never do a running charity event because I do not run.
You don't run.
I do my 20 minutes on the elliptical and then I pass out.
Nice.
And then Rosina just commented that OCD is a hell of a living problem. Also, cat feet pics are awesome. I can't speak for you, Forrest, but for me, it's probably not OCD. It's probably autism.
I've never been diagnosed with either. But like, I don't know. I've never been diagnosed with anything. However, there have been like, I can think of like 3 separate occasions where I have started a sentence saying like, I don't know for sure if I have ADHD or autism, whatever. And someone will just stop me, like, I'm gonna stop right there. You absolutely fucking do. Finish whatever you're going to talk about.
So my partner she just started her practicum to become a psychotherapist. And by our 3rd date, she was texting her friend being like, I'm pretty sure this guy is autistic or has ADHD or both. And since then, I have been diagnosed with ADHD. I have not been diagnosed with autism. However, one of my children has, and the other one is going through, or one of the other ones is going through the assessment process. So given the genetic components there, it's not unlikely.
There's over 1,000 genes that are associated with autism.
Yeah,
we don't know
it's very complicated.
It is. But who knows, man? I don't know. I'm not trying to take anything away from you. I would love to be screened at some point. I do know there's like an ADHD association online or something like that. And they have like this like quiz, and it's like 60 questions, and if you answer yes to like 5 or more, you probably have ADHD. And my wife ran through it with me, and I answered yes to all but like 2. And so like it's, I don't know, man.
Maybe, who knows?
Yeah, it's hard to tell, but like I don't know. It just, I've been my brain is like a noisy concert hall, and it has been my whole life, and I don't know what anything else would feel like.
That sounds like ADHD.
I listen to podcasts specifically to shut my brain up.
Yeah,
like I need to hear someone else talking for a change.
Yeah, if I have some music playing and I'm running a video game and I've got a show on thing and I can play on my phone in between loading screens like that, I can be comfortable for a minute. You know what I mean?
I think we can give you the official watering hole diagnosis.
Yeah, that sounds too familiar for me.
I mean, I've been swiveling in my chair and bouncing my legs this entire time. I can't stop. I cannot stop. But that's just, it's different strokes for different folks, and something.
Yeah.
So
it makes sense.
Urge Olner, I'm sorry for mispronouncing your name.
The only chair that I have to sit in normally because I physically am forced to sit straight up and down and not all weird with one leg over the back, and I hear that's a thing.
Oh,
you know what I
mean? My oldest, who is they've got several diagnoses, and ADHD and autism are 2 of them, and they are regularly just upside down with their legs splayed out in random locations, and it's just like, okay. Yeah.
They're in the way. You have all these legs. What are you supposed to do with that, And
you're supposed to make a video about how legs are just stupid arms that somehow gets you talking about penises?
Hey, and worms. I'll have you know, it's not like I just went for penises.
I have to put another hat on, so we get the fascinator. Okay. So yeah, Urge Olner asks, why don't you guys do a collab sometime? I think it would be so much fun to watch you all ripping apart someone like Matt Powell. I just responded to a 40-minute Matt Powell video, so if Forrest's open to collaborating, I'm not against it, but not Matt Powell for a while, please.
It's because I fucking hate him. No, it's because we just met, and so like, who knows? Maybe someday. We'll see what happens.
Oh, yeah, okay. No, in my head, it was like, you just met Matt Powell?
Right. Yeah.
You just met Matt Powell and you fucking hate him.
I'm still washing my hands. It is. My schedule is booked beyond fuck, but like maybe someday we'll see what happens.
Yeah, no, I'm still working on remembering to email Sir Sick, because we were supposed to have him on back in June.
Yeah, you mentioned that like ages ago, and then it just kind of...
Yeah, I think he and I both forgot.
I'm still supposed to do a video with Paul Logia that I promised to do, like, I think last year, and I just forgot to reply to his email. And I've met him I've done shows with him several times since then, and I start every show like, hey man, we were supposed to do a thing together. He's like, yep. And I'm like, cool, I'll get back to you about that. And then I fucking don't, because I just can't. I turned around, and that means my brain reset, and I forgot everything I was doing. And that happens all the time. Okay,
I'm texting Paul now to be like, Forrest wants you to email him.
You want to do a thing, man? We'll make it happen, I promise. I really do fucking mean it. I promise I'm not an asshole. I really am not trying to ignore anybody. I just get like I get so swamped with so much shit, and then I have so many. I try to do collabs with people. You happen to catch me on a day when I don't usually do things. Thursdays, I have a little bit of wiggle room. And
so that's what we're supposed to do from now on. We just make sure.
Right. Well, you also happen to catch me. I literally fucking finished a midterm yesterday, and so I have a little bit of free time today. And like, if you had done this last week, it would have been a no. If you'd done it next week, it probably would have been a no. This was just the week I could do it. So you got insanely lucky with me.
No, that wasn't a coincidence. That was I sat down and was like, "Hey,
luck."
No, I asked you, when are you free? And you said,
I don't remember that.
Yeah, no.
I don't.
No, you told me I'm booked way out in advance, and I'm just like, okay, that's fine, because I feel too much pressure when I book things too close. So like, and I thought you were going to be like November, December, and you're like, yeah, no, it's September.
I have an opening in September. Yeah.
I was like, okay, sure.
Beautifully.
But yeah, so that I was going to go somewhere, and now it's gone. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just disappeared now.
Yep, that happens. You know how many times when I so Suris and I normally do our Wednesday night shows we'll cover 3 news items, and then we make fun of a bunch of people who tweeted stupid things. And we'll do the live stream, and then I cut it down into each segment by itself. Every single fucking time as I'm editing it, it's like, oh yeah, that's right, I meant to say this thing there and I didn't because I forgot.
It just disappeared.
Oh,
and then you get upset. Then you get upset with yourself.
Tina Witt or Witty, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing, says one of Rhino's kids is a Flying Fox fan, just like me. Can you talk about how? Oh, Tina, you sent me the letter. Yes, I got your letter and the earrings. Thank you.
Tina came to the Galapagos with me and gave me this dissectable child doll.
What? That's amazing.
She's cool as fuck.
So
I've shown this thing on streams. You can dissect this child. Check it out.
That's awesome.
She gave me this as a gift.
So yeah, no, and we got Flying Fox earrings. So apparently Flying Fox immune systems work so that they're immune to so much stuff. There's something special going on there. Are you aware of that?
As far as I know, I guess maybe they let me double check, because like if they have crazy immunities, okay, so the Interbut is saying that they carry like Hendra virus, and all sorts of other things. But like, if they have a crazy immune system, I would hazard a guess. This is the first time hearing about it. I want to be clear about that. But like, if I had to guess, if they have a crazy immune system, it's probably to do with their body temperature, just like with a possum, because possum body temperature is so low that things like rabies can't survive in them. Let me double check. Flying.
See, I didn't know that at all. That's actually fucking fascinating.
It's very rare for a possum to have rabies.
They just look like it all the time.
They're gonna reduce their core temperatures. Blue. So apparently they have they have a problem with high temperatures because they're not able to regulate their body temperature properly, especially as babies. So again, this is going into that. It's if their body temperature is already very high. Let me check.
I wonder if their wings act like heat sinks. Pump the blood in the wings as you're flapping them to cool off.
Maybe. That's outside
Novel
of my
insights
jurisdiction.
into the immune systems of bats. A paper published in 2020 on this viral immunology.
A paper from 2020 on viral immunology regarding bats.
Fucking neat, dude.
That's a bit on the nose.
Well, it wasn't bats that gave us COVID. It was pangolins, wasn't it?
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, so it's okay. So I'm just going to read from the abstract here. In recent years, viruses similar to those that cause serious disease in humans and other mammals have been detected in apparently healthy bats. These include this virus, and coronavirus is on there. Blah, 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 blah. The hemorrhagic fevers. Oh, they go on for a while. Ooh. The evolution of flight in bats may have selected for a unique set of antiviral immune responses that control for virus propagation, while limiting self-damaging and inflammatory responses. Here we summarize our current understanding of antiviral immune responses in bats and discuss their ability to coexist with emergent viruses that cause serious disease in other mammals. We highlight how this knowledge may help us to predict viral spillovers, new hosts. So you can actually learn a lot about zoonotic disease from these guys as well.
Okay.
Fucking cool.
If I'm understanding this correctly, please correct me if I'm wrong. What that's essentially
that paper in the chat.
Okay. I don't know where the chat is. There it is. So if I'm understanding that correctly, the way I understood that was that basically they've evolved, like it's their response to the viruses isn't the whole fight off the virus, it's a just let the virus live and don't damage us in the process sort of thing, like a live and let live sort of scenario. Is that correct? Is that what you got from that?
So the antiviral immune systems that control virus propagation while limiting self-damage inflammatory responses. So what I'm getting from that is most of the symptoms that you get when you have a virus, like when you have the flu and you have aches and chills and fever, and all
is your body trying to fight it off?
Yes, that's not the virus doing that. That's you doing that in order to fight the virus. And so it's limiting self-damaging inflammatory responses. So you're reducing symptomatic responses. And it says antiviral immune responses that control virus propagation. So they are still fighting the virus, just in a different way. And it seems like they have some sort of like consistent regulator in there that is antiviral, maybe heat shock proteins, maybe something that stops lysogenic viruses from propagating. Like there's a few things in there that could mean. I don't know. I haven't read the paper, but like, yeah, it just sounds like something about them is allowing these viruses to be in them but not actually get to take hold of them, and then still they would be purged, because it's saying that they are experiencing these viruses while being apparently healthy. So
they're just asymptomatic but carriers.
Asymptomatic carriers of a lot of shit.
They're all typhoid Marys for everything.
And somehow still able to have a really functional immune response, which is really cool. So yeah, that is fucking neato. One more reason to not touch bats, y'all. People touch bats when they find them outside, and usually it's said, like, if you see a bat hanging out, you shouldn't touch it because it gets probably sick if you're seeing it during the day. One more reason, they can carry a lot of shit and look entirely healthy, apparently.
They're probably sick today, just because they're bats.
Thanks, chiropterians.
So, Palfly for €5.
They're just sky dogs.
Says, serious question this time. What's the simplest science fact that most people don't know?
Oh, that you can't fucking cut the mold off of like cheese or bread and then eat the rest, because like mold doesn't grow, because it's like all that. In so mold has hyphae, basically what you would think of as roots. They're called hyphae, and they grow, and when they are already spread super deep, if not all the way throughout the thing, that's when it starts producing what are called fruiting bodies, which is what looks like the flowers. When you see the red, green, yellow, blue, white fuzz, whatever the fuzzy stuff you see, that's just the fruiting bodies of the mold. The microscopic roots of the mold, the hyphae, are already all through the thing, and those are producing mycotoxins, not micro like tiny, myco like mushrooms. Yes, those are producing mycotoxins and can still get you very sick. And so like if it's a hard cheese like cheddar cheese or something like that, you can go about an inch or two back and cut it off, and it should be okay, but just fucking don't. And if it's soft cheese, bread, anything soft that you're seeing mold on, you cannot just cut the visible parts off, because the invisible part is already permeating the entire thing. And so many people don't know that.
Counterpoint, blue cheese.
Yeah, so there's
blue cheese. So I used to work for Boar's Head. Blue cheese is a very it's created in a very controlled environment. The bacteria that's it's the same. Swiss cheese is made the same way blue cheese is, Rhino. We use bacteria to drill the holes in it.
It's all just milk that went bad creatively.
Yes,
that is exactly what it is. That is cheese and yogurt. Yes.
Yeah.
Fermented dairy. Yeah, and
delicious.
What gets me is you're a fucking Mesopotamian goat herder fucking 12,000 years ago, and you leave a bowl of milk out, and you come back and it's all hard and weird and smells like a foot, and you're like, I'm gonna eat that shit, and then you didn't die. That had to have happened correctly the first time. There's no way somebody made a mistake and it went badly and then they did it twice.
I think
it had to have been a one and done perfectly. That's a miracle.
It's the same thing with like any fermented, like beer, wine, alcohol, like any alcohols, or like any fermented food. Like, hey, I left this food out until it looked and smelled gross, but I ate it anyway, and it was actually pretty good.
And it was so
let's
good.
do it again.
I could even understand alcohol, because like animals go out and find like rotting fruit on the ground and eat them and get drunk all the time. Like that happens quite a bit.
Yeah.
And so like if you just leave a fucking peach on the ground, it's gonna ferment and it's gonna rot a little bit, and at a certain point it's alcoholic enough to be gross but not dangerous. And there lots of animals go out there and they'll eat that shit and they'll get wobbly. And so humans doing that too and then controlling that, I could totally understand.
My mother has an apple tree in her backyard, that she just lets the apples fall, and then the yellow jackets come for the apples.
Yep, and they get drunk off.
But the yellow jackets do not sting at her house because they're too drunk to even know that that's a thing they can do anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know how fucking gross wasps are?
Yes.
Do you ever think about how gross they are? They're gross things.
Yeah.
I want to make a video. I think I talked about this on another stream before, but like I want to make this at some point about like why you don't eat wasp honey. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you, because like wasps, so bee honey, they eat nectar and then they vomit up honey, right? They puke it up and it's just super concentrated with sugars, and so bacteria doesn't grow in it because they would immediately desiccate. But wasps also do that shit, except they do it in a worse way. And so like what we have is like wasps are omnivores. First of all, they eat everything. They eat meat.
Yeah.
They eat all sorts of stuff. But the tiny little wasp waste, they don't have a functional stomach in there. They can't digest their own food. And so they go back to their hive, and their babies, the larvae, are in their little compartments. They have these two little teeth, and they scrape their teeth on the side of their little compartments when they're hungry. It makes a vibration the wasps can hear. And they come out and they vomit the food into the baby's mouth. That's how they feed the baby. Similar to bees, only worse, like a bird mother. Yeah. They regurgitate to the and then the babies digest the food, and what they aren't able to like the extra nutrients that they don't need, they then regurgitate that as a bubble of sweet goo that the adult wasps then come and drink, and that's where they get their nourishment from. They have external stomachs, which is their children, and they eat meat and plants and stuff, and then they vomit it up into their babies, and then their babies digest it for them and vomit it back up for the adults to consume, and that's wasp honey. And like that's why you don't fucking eat wasp honey, because it's horrific, truly horrific to think about.
I mean, if you think about the bee honey, that is also it's less horrific, but you're still eating vomit.
It's still vomit, but it is only plant-based vomit, and it's only sugar vomit.
Yeah.
And it's not double baby vomit made of literally anything that the wasps could find.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
As long as we're here, rabbits eat their own poop.
Yeah.
Because they don't do the chewing cud thing.
They're coprophagic, and they just munch up on those little turd balls.
And then
delicious.
Is it koalas that the babies feed by eating their parents' poop?
Yeah, koalas, the babies eat. It's called fecal pap, so it is poop, but it's like a special kind of
special kind of poop.
SJL, I'm just going to take a stab at this before Forrest answers it. I'm going to say no, it's not safe. It says, I have a block of cheese that expired in 2021. No mold, but the package is puffed up. Safe?
No.
It's basically a science experiment at this point.
The puffing package should give that away. Don't eat it. That's horrible. I mean, do keep it for a while, but like maybe transfer it to a different package so that one doesn't explode. Oh. But yeah, dude, it's fecal pap. It's just to give the babies the microbiota that they need, is to give them the bacteria and everything that they need in their gut. Because a huge amount of digestion is because of your gut microbes. And especially when it comes to things like plants, you don't have the ability to digest cellulose. You don't have the enzymes for it, but the little buddies that live in your intestines do. And so when you eat a salad, they eat it again, and then what they poop out is what you're able to process. And that's, koalas eating only eucalyptus leaves. They need that especially.
Forrest, you're okay being next to a communist? I got the hat. I got the hat thing again, so I had to.
I'm a socialist, comrade. So like here we are.
This is our channel,
right? If one of us is a capitalist, then we've got like the trifecta.
No, we got two socialists here at the very least.
Oh,
so.
well, fuck.
And then we got Rhino. Rhino, I don't think we've ever actually talked about what economic policy you prefer.
I don't like labels.
Libertarian. Got it.
No, fuck you. No.
So your economic, right? So the group that you've chosen is bitch. I get you. Okay, cool. Yeah.
No, the group that I have chosen is anytime I have tried to use a label, there's like a group of people who are like, "Oh, so you believe that?" I'm like, "No, actually, I don't."
No,
I'm just like, that. I just want people to be taken care of.
Yeah. Yeah, you fucking socialist. So yeah, no,
Yeah,
that
just
is
join
a,
the socialists here. It's fine.
I used to do the same thing. No shade at all. I used to do the same thing. I would just avoid labeling it because like same reason. If I was talking about anything that if I want the government to do anything that isn't war, it's just, oh, you're a socialist then, and like it's like that sucks. And also even now I'm very open. I'd say, yeah, of course I'm a socialist, and people are like, okay, so you just want the government to control everything. It's like, nope, that's not what that means. Like, oh, so you're a Marxist? Nope, not
like,
a Marxist.
That's not what that means. Kropotkin was a socialist, and he fucking had all kinds of shit to say to Marx.
And he was an anarchist as well. And like that's yes. And so like that's the thing is like I'm an anarcho-socialist, which is also sometimes just called social anarchism, or just sometimes
or
called,
an anarcho-syndicalist is also another label that gets used for that too.
Yeah, it gets lumped in a bit.
If you end up being like really for guilds, like you end up being anarcho-syndicalist.
And this is where I kind of lose the plot because like
anarcho-syndicalism.
I see like all these different labels have all these different nuances attached to them, and I'm like, the idea of trying to find one that actually matches up with the things that I believe is just more effort than I'm willing to put in.
Well, it sucks because like there's different like there's if you just in like that spectrum, there's Marxism and then there's Leninism and then there's Marxism Leninism, which is a different thing, putting them together, and then there's Stalinism and Maoism and libertarian socialism and leftist and this and all these different things. And honestly, yeah, I don't try to dig into it too much either. I know
I'm comfortable using an umbrella term because it's easy to slip under an umbrella term because like if you say the word communist, there's about 12 different shades of communist. If you say the word socialist, there's about 15 different shades of socialist. Same thing with capitalist. Like I'm okay using those, and I know enough because when I was in that phase where people were telling me you can't be a leftist if you don't read theory, so I was like, okay, fine, I'll read it. Okay, fine, it's boring. I still remember everything I read, but like Conquest of Bread bored me to shit. I didn't disagree with most of the things I read in it, but it bored me to fucking shit. So like I can understand the position of like not wanting to find the label that like narrows it down the most. I agree with that. That's why I chose not to narrow it down the most. I know that I like unions. I know that I like things like government welfare, being able to help people who need it. I know that I like workers' rights. Socialism encompasses all of that. I know that like capital being in the hands of people who actually do the labor as opposed to the person who's like up at the front telling them what the fuck to do makes more sense to me. Again, that's just socialism.
Precisely. And that's the thing, like the two things you said are really important there. Is that number one is that like people like to pretend that capitalism isn't also a grab bag of a million different terms.
Correct.
Yeah.
And
110%.
Oh, you like capitalism? So you like the state capitalism that Stalin did then? No, because
or
that's
the state capitalism that China's currently doing, because that's
precisely
what it is.
and calling it communism, right? And like that's the thing. And so like you get into this situation where you're flirting with this no true Scotsman shit, where you're like, yeah, I know the Nazis called themselves socialists. They very clearly weren't. And
the
like,
night of, you have to sit there and go like, okay, so let's talk about the Night of Long Knives for just a quick second, so we can figure out how many of them were socialist. Oh wait, they're all dead.
Okay, but
and then can we talk also like?
Can we talk though about how the Lorax is not an environmentalist book? It's actually a critique of late stage capitalism.
Yes.
Yes,
110%, because it's the overconsumption and overproduction that led to those issues. Like that's what that book was about.
And so like that's the thing. And then you look at like, you know, you talk about these things as if socialists are the only ones that have to fucking defend, number one, what they believe and why, and have a complete plan on how to change the entire world. Whereas anybody who calls himself a capitalist is free to critique anything and not have a whole fucking grand plan on how to change everything.
Yep. Bohemian Lucy is pointing out in the chat that North Korea calls themselves a people's republic.
They call themselves a democracy, and they're not. No.
Yes. And the shit of it is like that works really well for American propaganda, because we can be like, hey, Stalin said that he's a communist, so that's communism. Socialism is when the government does stuff, and when the government does a lot of stuff, it's communism.
Thank you, Richard Wolff. I appreciate that.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, exactly.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Okay, so here's the funny thing: the earlier part, the middle part of our conversation, where it was mostly about biology, where I had a hyperfixation on it while I was doing my earlier skeptic content. And then that fixation faded away. I was like, I am present for the conversation. I'm going to give what I can. Then we start talking about economics, and I'm like, all right. Hey, shit fell down.
But
I'm like, this is the shit when the government takes your stuff.
We're reconnected. We're back up. Okay. So you were guessing, is it 100? What time
is it?
What time frame are you guessing 100?
There's a time frame situation?
Well, like 100 a week, 100 a month, 100 a year.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to say you pay $1,000 a year. For
my family, which I don't file taxes with my partner as of yet, so it's me and my 4 kids. I have never paid more than $700 a year for healthcare.
For my wife and my insurance, I pay almost $900 a month for our health insurance.
Yeah,
that's
socialism.
Just for the insurance. Now, that doesn't include, like, if we have a procedure or whatever that the insurance doesn't want to cover, or if I go to a doctor out of network and have to pay out of pocket.
So anything that's necessary is covered, like well, except for dentistry. I don't know how dentistry doesn't count as necessary. We have to pay for that shit. But prescriptions are not covered. Our prescription prices are a lot lower than they are in the States. But you know, I still, like, between me and my various children with their various medications, and my partner who has diabetes, we pay probably $800 or $900 a month for medications. But, like, my partner's on a lot of things for, like, she's got a whole pill thing, and I think they put her on Ozempic as well. So
that shit ain't cheap.
Nope.
Yeah.
No.
It's just, man, I just don't understand how the concept of, like, if we all live in the society, then the society should benefit the people living in it. I don't get how that is a radical idea. And I one thing I do know is a radical idea, but I don't accept, is, like, I think that any government that allows its people to suffer and struggle for food, water, shelter, healthcare, I think that government's failing. I think that's the point of putting a government in place. If you have a system that has authority over people, that has the ability to inflict violence on those people, then it needs to be constantly justifying its existence. And if it can't do that, even for one fucking second, it needs to either be radically changed or disposed of and put something better in place. And that's what the founding documents of this country are all about. That's what the Declaration of Independence says.
What's funny is that you say that might be, or, like, that's a radical opinion, but that's literally the words of our founding fathers.
Yeah,
so, like, it's a radical opinion, but it's also the opinion our country was founded on.
And yet, as has been proven multiple times, if you just say what the Declaration of Independence says, people think you're an anarchist calling for a violent revolution, because they were advocating for social equality and for, like, government working for the people. They were advocating for, like, very socialist and social anarchistic ideals. So like, this is kind of getting back on what we were just talking about a minute ago, is, like, when you use words like socialism, communism, and anarchism, these are diverse schools of thought that have difference in historical uses versus theoretical uses versus, like, all these things. But when you really boil down to it, like, the central idea of my philosophy of social anarchism is that liberty and equality are intertwined, and that if you don't have one, you don't have the other. And so when you have a highly stratified hierarchical system like we have in this country, both in terms of political power and also just, like, quality of life, and like in this country, literally, you can be too poor to live, then you don't have a free society. That's my thesis statement. That's my main idea, is if you have a world where you, because of the way you were born or because of your work ethic, even if you want to take it that far, you don't
deserve to live.
Right. You are disenfranchised politically and also just biologically. That is not a free society.
Also, like, speaking specifically about healthcare, it doesn't actually make sense to deny healthcare to people. Because, like, I tried looking for the study. I don't know what keywords to search for off the top of my head, but I remember reading a study where if the states were to actually provide full socialized healthcare to the population the same way European countries do. And like, I joke about the socialist paradise of Canada. We're actually one of the worst ones because we've got the American influence right beside us. But if they were to actually provide free healthcare for just everybody in the States, that would actually increase government revenue through more taxes being collected because more people can work because they're going to the doctor and staying healthy and having preventative care.
They're able to do more work because their bodies aren't shutting down.
Yeah.
And it would
So
also
weird.
be cheaper. It would be cheaper overall.
Yeah.
Like it would be cheaper for the government because they're not having to pay out as much like disability and shit like that. It would be cheaper for individuals. It would be like everybody would benefit from socialized medicine in this country. The only people who wouldn't benefit happen to be the people who are paying billions of dollars to lobby our government to make sure those laws are never passed and to spread misinformation and disinformation about what socialism and what universal healthcare looks like. And to somehow, exactly the same way that we do with guns and the same way we do with education, for some reason, convince millions of Americans that the problem that only exists in this country is completely fucking unsolvable.
But it's
because
they have to fund research for us, even though the majority of research funding comes from the government.
Right. It's just like, but we have it in place. I believe it is still the case that we are actually not able to research things like gun violence in this country because
that
lobbyists gonna lobby.
That law ended, like it expired and it never got renewed. And there actually there was some recent research in that in the last couple of years. I forget the details. But I remember seeing the paper and being like, hey, I thought they weren't allowed to do this. So I looked it up and
that's fantastic news.
Yeah.
That is fantastic news. But yeah, that's the thing. We have this country where like we have, people dying from lack of medicine. We have, rampant school shootings and mass shootings all the time. We have a terrible education system that is fragmented and fucked up.
One of the fucking school shootings that was on the news a lot lately is the one that happened just near my fucking house. The 14-year-old who the right-wing media is now trying to say was trans because of a misunderstood article about the Discord that the person had. That like I could drive to the school that happened at. That's fucking terrifying.
Yeah. And like that, and it's all in this one country where we keep saying there's no solution. That we keep saying we can't figure it out. We can't talk. We tried doing nothing and that hasn't worked, and now we're out of ideas. And that's all we got.
Just pray more.
Meanwhile, everybody else in the world seems to figure out how to make a world where you can make sure everybody has food, make sure everybody has healthcare, make sure people don't get shot going to school or to the grocery store or to the movie theater or to whatever music festival. Those somehow, and they're still free. Amazing. They didn't all get rounded up into camps and all this shit. It's just
amazing how that happened.
Yeah,
right.
Like I don't know. I wish we would treat guns at least as seriously as we treat cars. You have to have a license to own one. You have to have insurance on it. You have to, pay extra taxes. You have to have a registration. And when you sell it, like no selling after the fact. When you sell it secondhand, that registration has to be changed, same as you do at the DMV now.
For me, I agree with all of that. I agree with all of that, and I own several guns. Nobody gets to be the person that's like, you're just the leftist who doesn't like guns. Like, bitch, if you go far enough left, you get your guns back.
Precisely. I am one of those as well. I understand exactly what you were saying, and I wouldn't want to give up my weapons because I live in a place where people shoot people like me, or at least threaten to. It's not fun. And so I absolutely have some, and I have them for all the reasons that people talk about having them. And I'm also very safe about them. And I'm also make sure I use them safely and properly. And I don't leave them laying around, and I don't leave them loaded, and I don't let kids touch them, and all these things. And I would be more than fucking happy to have a psych evaluation, to do training, to have a license, to get insurance, any of those things. More than happy to do it if it would keep other people safe, and it would stop. If it ended one fucking school shooting, I'd do it tomorrow. No problem.
So I found the paper. It was just published in June. Firearm. You guys talking about guns and me not having any guns. I'm just sitting here like, I hope they're locked separate from their ammo. And they're like, oh, that was the study. It's something like 40% of people who own guns just keep them loaded.
Yeah,
what's funny
stupid,
is that you
right?
shouldn't fucking do that. So like, okay, so the holster I have for my 9mm, and it's I have a high point yeet cannon, but the not a very accurate weapon, but it works. The holster for it has a separate compartment where the magazine is supposed to be put, so that you don't have the gun loaded even when you have it like on your person. The gun is not supposed to be loaded. That's why there's a fucking separate magazine compartment, because it's for safety.
Yeah, it's not hard. I keep mine. I have one that I keep next to my bed, and it's the same thing. The magazine is separate, and if I need it, they're right there. That's how you could do that, and it's done. That's how fast it is. And I've got the ones in my closet. It's the same thing. Bullets go in this box, and the guns go over here. And it's not fucking hard. I don't think that the bullets are going to walk over there, but also it's a simple fucking safety tool to make sure that somebody doesn't fucking die. And it's just so stupid. It's like driving without a seatbelt. I've been in a couple of wrecks, but like relatively speaking, less than 1% of the time. And I've never been in a wreck bad enough that I think I actually even needed a seatbelt. But if doing fucking this for 1 second and having a little bit, arouse my shoulder a little bit weird, but you might not fucking rocket through your windshield in a high-speed collision, it's worth it. It's worth the time and the effort to do that one little thing, right? And it's the same thing. It's just fucking stupid. You have this thing, this tool that is literally designed for one purpose and one purpose only, and that is to make something over there not live anymore. That is the only purpose. It's not like a hammer or a knife, which could potentially have another use. The one job of this thing is to kill something, and you're gonna be fucking cavalier with it? What an asshole. Why? Why would you do that?
You need to treat it. So the one that's weird thing, the one weird thing, and I live in Marjorie Taylor Greene's district in Georgia, so I get all of the like conspiratorial conservative people saying stuff when I'm like out of the card shop or out of the taco bar. One of the common phrases here is it's a tool, you have to treat it with respect, but then paradoxically the people who say that are also the ones that treat them like toys.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a fucking strange thing to me.
That's the study that I was bringing up. I found it. They looked at 8 states that were providing them with sorry, I haven't looked at the methods yet, so I don't know whether this was a survey or whether they were collecting data or whatever, but half of those with a loaded firearm stored at least one loaded firearm unlocked, and among respondents with a child and a loaded firearm in the home, the range was 25.2% in Ohio on the low end to 41.4% in Alaska reported that a loaded firearm was stored unlocked. And that is exclusively in people that have loaded firearms in their house with children.
No, what's funny is
May I present to you the problem?
What's funny is that they even make mini gun safes, right, that are made to look like books. That way you can have one like on your nightstand and it looks like it's part of the nightstand. Nobody can really open it very easily. Even the combination area for the lock is hidden. And usually like they're titled something funny like bedtime stories for unwelcome guests, something like that. But like there's stuff like that you can pick up, which is entirely in like a thing ingrained in gun culture, treating the gun as a solution to a bunch of problems, while also being a hidden gun thing, which really appeals to the like, the libertarians that are like, my guns are my life and don't get rid of any of my freedoms, never step on snack. There are literal tools that are marketed towards those people that have the ability to lock their gun away and put it away so that they have it where they think they need it the most, and they can open it very quickly, and a kid can't open it, and a thief can't come in and take it and use it, and oftentimes they'll just be like, I put it in the drawer.
Yeah.
I put it in the drawer.
I mean, that's what they do in the movies.
Yeah, but that's stupid. That's stupid. So like
it's really fucking stupid.
Like for me, all of my stuff, because it's just me and Saki living in the house, all of our stuff is in a gun tote, basically, that has like the equipment for taking care of it and everything that you need to make sure that they're well maintained. that's where our stuff is stored, in a tote that's on a shelf away that looks very nondescript. But if there were something like a kid in my house, that tote would magically disappear, and it would be somewhere that I would forget it's at probably at some point, because you don't fucking take those chances.
Yeah, absolutely. Most of the guns that I own are already up like 8 feet up off the ground on a high thing.
Yeah, this one's on a high shelf already.
Yeah, but like even the one next to my bed, that's exactly right. I got a case for it, and I've got a safety box thing that it goes in. And if I talked about, I have 10 nieces and nephews. If one of them is visiting, I don't care if it's the old one. I'm putting that shit away, and it's hidden. And I'm not even going to tell them that I did it, because I don't want them looking. You know what I mean? Like, that's just, it's so grossly irresponsible to say, hey, here's a fucking child, a thing that plays with stuff, and I'm going to leave something that is lethal to play with within reach of them. Like, how fucking stupid do you have to be?
I mean, to be fair, a lot of these people are people that think the Garden of Eden story was real and that God is a good father for putting the big everything goes to shit tree here, saying don't touch that tree.
Goku's a better father than God. And that man flew a fucking sensu bean itself.
So I would just like to say that, like, I currently, my guns are just lying around the house, strewn all over the place, and they are probably loaded, but they do only fire foam darts, though, however, so.
Right.
I mean...
Was Goku a father? I don't know anything about anything.
In Dragon Ball Z, Goku, in the beginning of Dragon Ball, he's the main character. Dragon Ball Z, he becomes a father. They find out that his son...
it's Dragon Ball Z up here.
I don't care. But they find out that his son has a latent power that most people don't have access to, because he's a half-breed between Saiyans, which are a warrior race in Dragon Ball Z, and humans, which have more capacity for emotions. For Saiyans, like, a lot of that kind of didn't happen. They can experience anger, but not to the degree that a human can, not to the degree that somebody like going through a traumatic event can. And apparently that trauma can unlock a lot of power for his son Gohan. So later in the series, when there's a major villain that they are fighting and Goku realizes, oh, I can't kill this thing, that's fine, my son can probably do it. His son's 12 at the time, by the way. And his son his son goes into the fight reluctant, like, I shouldn't be doing this. I am a child. This is bad.
Truth.
And Goku goes, oh, you know what I'll do? They have this magical thing called a senzu bean. They have a very limited resource of them, but it feeds you for 10 days, and it heals any wound that's in your body instantaneously. So he just kind of throws that at Cell, the guy who's trying to kill everybody.
You can interrupt any time we want. He will go forever.
Well, I'm almost done.
I mean...
But he gives the senzu bean to Cell so that he can fight at full power against his son, and everybody just stares at him like, he's gonna kill your kid. What the fuck are you doing? He wants to kill your kid, and you just handed him ammo. What is wrong with you? You are a horrible father. What the fuck are you doing? Goku ends up having to die to make up for that later on in that moment. So he gets his comeuppance. He fucking dies as a result of it, but he did almost get his kid killed. He's a bad
Jesus Christ. See, I don't know anything about these things, and every time somebody explains an anime to me, it's the most wild fucking thing that I've ever heard. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The same thing. Suris goes off on these little tangents every now and then, and
you smile and nod.
I try to be interested. There's one clip on the channel where I put my head back and put the hat over my face and was like, okay, I'm just gonna take a nap while he finishes explaining this.
I looked up Goku dies, and I've got this picture of the Goku with the yellow hair in front of this green and orange bear.
So that's Cell. So what happens there is Cell, when Cell actually does start
that's
losing.
Cell.
Oh my god. When Cell actually does start losing the fight with Goku, or with Gohan, his son, he decides that he's going to basically self-destruct himself. He goes, okay, cool. I'm just going to blow myself up, and I'm going to be the equivalent of 1 billion megaton bombs. The Earth's not going to be able to be populated by the time I do this. And the only person who knows how to teleport in the entire DBZ cast is Goku. So he's like, well, shit. I guess I have to solve a problem I created. I'm going to go teleport him to a different planet with fewer people. They're still going to die, and that's still going to be my fault. But at least my son's going to live.
It just fucks up some other place.
And
I
yeah,
mean,
the
all I know is that it's over 9,000.
Which was a translation error.
Of course it was.
But no, that whole sequence is him going like, I'm going to atone for like messing things up for my kid, and then the guy whose planet he takes it to is just like, so you're just going to kill me instead? You're just going to kill us instead? It's like, I don't have many other choices, man. I'm sorry.
Why
I can
not
only
just
teleport to places I know.
Oh fuck. Okay, I was gonna say, why not just a rocky barren planet? Like, why does it have to be that?
So the issue with Goku's ability is called instant transmission. He can only go to places with energy that he recognizes, and there's got to be people there for him to lock onto. So he's literally locking onto a different friend and going, yeah, it's you or my kid, I'm sorry. That's effectively what he's doing.
Dark Falcon says, Forrest, if you want an anime that you might like, watch Cells at Work.
Ooh, Cells at Work is great.
I've heard of that. I have never watched it, but I've heard several people have told me to check it out.
Yeah, the concept of it, Rhino, it's amazing. It is the human body as if the human body were a big city. So
Osmosis Jones.
It's like Osmosis Jones, but if Osmosis Jones
that's not a good
actually
way to
cared
sell
about
it.
If Osmosis Jones actually cared about being good and actually cared about being very accurate with everything that it was portraying, that's what Cells at Work is. So like, person will get a cut, and then all these like little workers will run in, and they're called the Platelet Squad, and they're coming to like go make a scab real quick. It's an adorable anime. It is
it's on
very good.
Crunchyroll, which I'm not subscribed to, but like I can get a 7-day free trial and watch the shit.
Yeah, it's a very, very good show if you really like science and you want a show that's made by a bunch of people who care about biology but also care about being entertaining, and they're just marrying those two into like, you're going to learn a lot about the human body works when you watch this, but also it's an anime, so it's going to be weird and fun.
And they pass a little school bus with a kid on it going like, I knew I should have stayed home today.
Does it have Bill Murray in it? Because like that's the biggest question. Like if it's better than Osmosis Jones, you know what I mean?
Osmosis Jones was a better TV show than it was a movie.
There you go. That's the fourth hot take of this whole thing. Eat cats and dogs. Children are terrible. I forgot what the third one was that we said that was going to get us all canceled. And
probably
then here we have.
We're probably going to get comments about being anarcho-socialists.
Oh yeah, sure.
I'm not going to get any comments about it because
you ain't streaming
for years. Well, I'm still gonna like with your permission, Rhino. I'm still gonna see about putting this on my channel as well.
Oh, you're gonna. Fuck, I forget his name.
Yeah,
I'm waiting for you to have the
guy, that
ready.
H-bomber guy.
Oh God, I forgot his name too. He deleted everything that mattered. James Sunderland.
No, it wasn't Sunderland. James.
I said what's happening. Illuminati. I mean, Illuminati as well.
No, okay. This is. So, do you know who H-bomber guy is? He's a video essayist. Somerton, that's his name. James Somerton.
James Somerton. Sunderland is Silent Hill too. Sorry.
So H-bomber guy put out a massive 3-hour video on YouTube plagiarism, and one of the people that he went the hardest on was James Somerton, who he deleted all of his stuff as a response to this and pretended to commit suicide. And on the same day that he published his suicide note, he on an alt account was like posting nude pics of himself.
Yeah.
So
interesting strategy.
That kind of a person. And as a joke, I once like downloaded a video of Suris's and stuck my little rhino thing over top of Suris's face and was like, this is my content.
I mean, fuck, dude.
Yeah. Anyway, so it's 10:30 now. Suris and I can probably keep going all night, but it's up to you when you want to.
I am gonna have to bounce here pretty soon, because I've got a couple of things I've got to get to. But I really appreciate you guys having me on. Like this is a lot of fun.
I mean, you've been a blast.
Yeah, I appreciate you joining us.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. So anything else you want to plug before we go? The Doctors Without Borders, obviously.
Yeah. So again, donate. Go to my links. Do you go to my channel, and there on my channel, the top series is Roll for Initiative. Any one of those videos, or the Tiltify link attached to any of those videos, or the merch link attached to any one of those videos, you can donate to Doctors Without Borders. Help to make the world a slightly less crappy place. Also, remember that capitalism is anti-democracy and anti-freedom. So be a socialist, because it's a lot of fun.
I agree with this message.
I am Vice Rhino, and I approve this message.
I don't want to go into why I agree with that message, because we'll be here another 10 minutes.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, that whole political discussion started because someone redeemed a hat, and I put on the Russian Chapka. No, the USSR Chapka. Yeah.
Look, well, the short version for everybody is capitalism. People who are capitalists hate capitalism. They actually hate capitalism because they want monopolies instead of competition.
Yeah. At the end of the day. Yep. I only threw that in there just to be fun, just to be an asshole. But like at the end, you're telling me you believe in a system where rather than every one person having one vote and the workers having control of their working conditions, you just have one guy on top who makes all the decisions and has all the money and can kick you out in the cold.
If democracy works so well in government,
sounds a lot like monarchy to me, right?
If democracy works so well in government, put it in the workplace.
Precisely. Absolutely.
It's super simple.
Just let the workers decide what they're doing, how they're doing it, what they're getting paid for it. And they'll tank their own company. No, they won't, because
they
have
work
a
there.
vested interest in not doing that.
They would want it to be better for them. Exactly. Just make freedom extend into the market and into the workplace. That's all. That's all you got to do. Just be more free. Be more free is the idea.
All right. I think I think be more free is a good note to end the stream on. So thank you so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having us.
And as always, fuck off.
Hey, just wanted to give a quick thank you to all of my wonderful patrons who help keep me afloat and help keep this channel going. YouTube and Twitch are wonderful platforms, but at the end of the day, stability is not one of their strong suits. If you want to support my channel, then obviously Patreon is one of the best ways of doing that. Link is in the description. But I do want to personally thank everybody who has contributed to the channel. Those people would be Red Joker, Purple Poundini, Jemshin, Britzkrieg, Jupe the Malignant, Michael, Ravalern, Mabbity Babbity, Astral Frontier, Autumn and Angel, Nixie Chan, Mark Anthony, Victorian Alchemist, I'm not saying the last part of that, and you know that, Arcton Arclacier, Kiratorian, Dren Hadamata, Jordan M, John L, Lord Bleck, Smiling Game Master, and Fireshard. And everyone else who supports my channel and lets me do what I do full time. This is a dream job of mine that I never believed that I would be able to take full time, and with your help, I've been able to do it. So thank you so very much for that. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you all enjoy, and I hope you all are having a wonderful time. I will see you all in the next one, hopefully.